perspective? What's the point? 2 points?
It's art time with Mr. Mayberry. Let's get busy.
Welcome to Art Time with Mr. Mayberry. Today I'm going to show you how to use 2-point perspective. Perspective is a tool that artists use to create space within a picture. And we'll be using 2-point perspective to make a 3-dimensional picture of a house. You'll need a pencil, a paper, a ruler, and possibly something to color with. So let's get started. It's time to make some art. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to turn our paper horizontally, and then we're going to draw a horizon line. And that is the line, the imaginary line where the sky and the earth meet. And I'm going to make it come down about an inch and a half from the top. And then I just want to line up my ruler with this top edge so it's parallel. And then I'm going to draw a line all the way across. You might make it a little bit lighter than I did here. I'm doing this so you can see it, but you might make it just a little bit lighter to start with because our house possibly could overlap that depending on where you put some of your lines today. Now this is what we call 2-point perspective, which means it has 2 vanishing points, and you will see in a minute how our lines will vanish or disappear to these points. They'll go to these points. So I'm going to come in about 3/4 of an inch on each side and make a little dot on the horizon line to make those 2 vanishing points. Now you can make all kinds of cube or rectangular prism kind of shapes using this technique, or you can do it for roads and things like that as well. I'm going to show you how to make a house, and I'm going to start now wherever you put the vertical line where these two will come together will determine kind of the shape of your house. Now I'm going to try to make it longer on one side than the other, so I'm going to put my vertical line a little over halfway, like to the right, more towards the right of the paper. So I'm going to try to line up this ruler with the side here so they're fairly parallel, and then I'm going to go ahead and draw a vertical line. Now I'm going to come down about, you can see it's not quite 2 inches, 1.5 inches down from the paper, or from the horizon line here. Let's see, maybe even just, let's try I'm going to try 1.25 inches down. But it's not an exact science here. You don't have to do it the exact same place I did, but I'm just kind of letting you know where mine is. And I'm making a line that is about 2 3/4 inches, something like that. Okay, and again, now how long this line is, where you place it, whether it's up above, you could put it up above the horizon, but then your house would be floating in the air. If you put it right over the horizon, then you won't see as much of the top of the house. But if you put it down below the horizon, then you'll see the top of the house as well. Okay, so it just depends on where you put this vertical line, and you might experiment doing this in different places, either below, above, or on the horizon, and see what kind of results that you get. But if you follow the same techniques here, connecting it to the vanishing points, you should get some interesting results, no matter where you decide to put that. Okay, now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to connect the top of this line to both vanishing points. So I'm going to take my ruler, my straight edge. We're not actually using it to measure today mainly. We're using it mainly to draw a straight line. So that's the main part. So you want to have a nice straight ruler so you can get a straight line. So I'm going to connect it to that vanishing point both on the right and then on the left. So you try to line it up the best you can. Try to keep it still so it doesn't slide around on you. And connect those two. You might make this line a little bit lighter as well, because we will be erasing parts of these. Part of it we keep and part of it we erase. So when you draw these kind of pictures, it's good to start off drawing light, and then later you can erase things or draw things darker as you go. Okay, next I'm going to connect both vanishing points to the bottom of the line. And what this does, we're dealing with perspective. We're dealing with trying to put things in the right place, or make it look like they fit in space in the right way. Okay, we're creating a sense of space. Because of the angle of this, this will be the front of the house and the side of the house. They look like they get farther away as they get smaller as they get farther away. So it creates a sense of space or depth within this picture. Okay, so this, like I said, this is going to be the front and this is going to be the side. I'm going to make the front a little bit longer or wider this way. Okay, and so I want to have a line on the other side of the house that's the same vertical, the same direction as this line right here, same vertical direction. So I'm going to slide this over. This is a lot of times the way I'll do it. I'll line it up here and try to slide it straight over to get how far you want it to go. I'm going to make the house about that long on the front and draw my vertical line that connects between these two. You don't really have to go past that. I did. It's not going to hurt anything if you did because we'll just erase it, but that's how tall it needs to be. Now I'm going to do the same thing this direction, except this side, this is the side of the house, so it's not going to be quite as long. Same thing, I connect these two. Now the more you do it, you might get better at just going between the lines and not going past them, but that's the goal there. Okay, now I want to make the roof of the house, and for that, this is the end down here, so it's going to look like a triangle. So I'm going to pick a point up here and draw a dot, and then you can use your ruler to connect so that you get a triangle shape on the end of the house. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to connect, to get the right angle on the direction of the top of the roof, I'm going to connect this vanishing point with the top of that triangle. So here we go, line that up, and then you draw between the two. Now, all the way back. All right, there we go. Now, the more you do this kind of thing, you'll get used to where the line should go. So you can line it up with the vanishing point and then not draw it as far. Just draw it as far as you need it to go. So that's one thing you can learn with practice. Now I'm going to try to keep the slant of the roof the same. So I'm going to hold it here and slide it across until I reach this bottom place over here. And then try to trace up at the same angle. So this way it has the same angle on this side of the roof as this side. Alright. So now you can see the basic design of the house. So we're going to go back and add some details. And we still need our vanishing points. Okay, so I'm just tracing the edges just a little darker so you can, it'll make the house stand out here. You can use a ruler also. Okay, so there's the basic shape of the house. Now I'm going to add door in the front, and then I'm going to put a window on the side. Now you can add more of these, but I wanted to give an example of both a door and a window. But you could put more windows on. You could put windows on the front. You could put the door on the side. Whatever you'd like to do. Now the doorway, I'm going to try to get it fairly centered. It might be off just a little bit, but I want this line to be the same direction as the corner of the house and also this end. And I'm not going to go up all the way because the door doesn't go all the way to the top, but I am going to go up a pretty good distance, okay, here. And then what I can do is connect the top of the doorway to the vanishing point, and I'm just going to draw over wide enough to make a door, okay, about that far, and then I'm going to draw my other vertical line, which I can line up with this corner right here. And that'll give us the top of the doorway going the right direction. So, see, on this side, all the lines that are horizontal will line up with the vanishing point. I'll show you, there's one more thing we're going to do with that on the side. So there's a doorway. I can make it look like a door by putting a knob and maybe some other things on the door. Alright, so there's the door. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side, except I'm going to do with the window. So the window's not going to be all the way to the ground. It's going to come up so far. So I'm first going to draw, I'm going to start up a little higher and then draw the side of the window. Okay, and that's how tall I'm going to make my window, how big. You can make a longer or taller window if you want. You could also go wider if you'd like to do that as well. You just kind of practice with it and see what you come up with. I'm going to use the vanishing point for the bottom, and then also for the top of the window. So I'm lining it up with the vanishing point, and then I don't have to draw the whole way. I just have to draw however long that window is going to be. Could draw a little bit longer on that one, I guess. Okay, and then I'm going to draw a vertical line on this other side. And then that's going to be the size of the window. Okay, so now my window, it looks with the two-point perspective, it looks like it's going the right direction to go back into space. It looks like this end is closer to us because it's larger, and that end is farther away because it's smaller. Same with the sides and everything else. So it gives us an illusion that this actually, it looks like it's going back into space within this flat piece of paper. It looks like it's going back. Okay, you can do the same thing if you put like a center, like a grid here on the window, some kind of a wood in the center there that's making that design. Okay, and then now the last thing I want to show you with this is how do you make more lines that are horizontal with the edge, either the edge of the house or the front of the house. I'm just going to, I can go down the corner. Actually, this is probably the best way to do this, is figure out how far you want. I'm going to make this like, it could be siding or it could be like a log cabin, but I'm going to figure out how wide each of these boards should be, and just draw a little mark here. And then I can use that from both directions to make my lines using the vanishing points. Okay, so I've tried to space them evenly all the way down. And then you can either work top bottom or bottom up. And I don't need the line all the way, I just need it the width of the house. So I'm going to start here on the corner and go to that side of the building. Line it up with the next one, do the same thing. I'm going to do that all the way down. You get the idea. Anytime there's a line goes back into space here, it's going to line up with the vanishing point. And that creates the right sense of depth, the illusion of a sense of depth or space within my picture. Okay, do that all the way down. A couple more. But by putting it on the corner, then these two lines will meet in the right place. That's why you wanted to start with the corner. Okay, so that looks really good. That's a siding on the house. Again, it could be a log cabin, like if I made a circle at either every other one here and then every other one on that side, it could be a log cabin. But I'm just going to make it like it's siding, like aluminum siding or vinyl siding. Line it up with the vanishing point, and then you just draw the length of the building. Stop at the doorway and start on the other side. When you do that, oops, that I didn't get. Let's see, almost. Okay, that's better. Now if I don't line it up with the vanishing point, it's not going to look right. So make sure you take your time and line it up with the vanishing point and hold on to that ruler so it doesn't slide around. Okay. Then you can erase the lines inside the house because it's not a glass house, you can't see through it. Erase this part of the vanishing, the lines that go to the vanishing point, and the same over here. You might erase too much, so you might have to redraw your horizon line on each side of the building. You can shade in the roof. You could also do this up through this triangle as well. Just make marks every so often and then draw your lines, continue them up. And then you might get something like this if you've cleaned up your drawing. Then you can go on and color it in, or you can add more things around the house, sidewalk, maybe trees. You could do something in the background. You could add color. Okay, so this is a basic way to make a house using a two-point perspective. And then I'd like you to go ahead and do that and then finish it out the way that you would like to finish that out. So that's our project for today.
Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you'd like to share your two-point perspective picture of a house with me, post it in the comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
See you later. Hi, bye.